guys, my name is Jen Adams. I'm the office administrator and the leadership team chair here at Shepherd's Heart, and it has been quite some time since I have done an actual Friday devotional. As I was writing a newsletter article for our church newsletter coming out this weekend, I became more and more compelled to share with you this entire section from Chuck Swindoll's book called Perfect Trust. Our ladies here at the church have been doing a Wednesday Bible study all about dealing with life's disappointments, with working on not blaming God when bad things happen, but turning to Him, which requires a lot of trust. I think I've done a couple of midweek meditations out of this book, and I share a lot of my personal thoughts on trust in the newsletter article. But today I'm just going to deliver Chuck Swindoll's words right to you because they're very powerful, and his perspective of God is very powerful. So today's section out of Perfect Trust is called God's Way is Right. Is there something that you're waiting for, something that you're trusting God to do, to perform, to fulfill, and He hasn't done it yet? You're probably waiting longer than you would like to wait. But that doesn't mean that God's provision is canceled. It just means His promise is delayed. Our timetable is different than His, and on occasion He will just say, wait. I repeat, the delay doesn't mean that He canceled it. The delay simply means that He is building our character through the process of waiting. Perfect trust is a character-building process. God is bringing significant things to pass. While He doesn't reveal what they are, He remains in control. He takes full responsibility, and it is His plan for you to rest in His rulership and reign over you. It makes a tremendous difference in our lives when we realize that we are not sovereign over our own lives, nor are we expected to be. God is. God alone. We need to come to this place where we resign ourselves to our sovereign God. And when we do embrace God's sovereignty, we will find that our confidence increases, our insecurities fade away, worries decrease, and calmness replaces striving. Now, on what basis would we allow God to be in control of our lives? Think about a carefully worded resume for someone who has the right to rule all of life. One who is absolutely powerful, infinitely wise, completely objective. I think you'll find that only God qualifies. What makes God qualified? Well, anyone who is sovereign must see the end as perfectly as He sees the beginning, must have a clear and unbiased perspective at all times, and must never operate from prejudice. He must entertain no fears, possess no ignorance, have no needs, and experience no frustration or limitations or restrictions. He must have no rival, no match on earth or in heaven. He must always know what is best and pursue that goal consistently, never making a mistake. He must be invincible, immutable, omnipotent, and self-sufficient. His judgments must be unsearchable, His ways unfathomable, and His will unchangeable. He must be able to create rather than invent, direct rather than wish, control rather than suggest, guide rather than guess, fulfill rather than dream, and bring everything into perfect conclusion rather than close His eyes and hope for the best. Do you know anybody who qualifies? Not a soul. That's why God alone has the right to be the sovereign ruler over our lives. Our all-wise, all-knowing God reigns in realms beyond our comprehension to bring about a plan that is way beyond our ability to hinder, alter, or stop. But what would His plan include? It includes all promotions and demotions, occupations and loss of occupations. It includes prosperity and adversity, tragedy and ecstasy, joy and sorrow, gain and loss. It envelops illness as well as good health, healing as well as disease, perilous times and comfortable times, safety and ease, as well as disasters and calamities. It includes all handicaps, all heartaches, helpless moments, disappointments, broken dreams, and lingering difficulties, as well as significant accomplishments and amazing discoveries. God alone qualifies. He alone is worthy of our worship and praise. Being sovereign, he is in charge of all of life. And the day that we resign ourselves to that is the day we really begin to understand what it means to rest by faith in a living God through Jesus Christ. When I don't fathom why, he knows. When I don't have a clue as to when, he understands. And when I cannot imagine that something good is going to come from this, he brings it to pass. God will be all in all. God will have his way. What seems frustrating and wrong and unfair is not the end of the story. It's just the end of a chapter. And the book that God is writing has many, many chapters. Augustine was correct, absolutely right, in fact, when he said, we count on God's mercy for our past mistakes, we count on God's love for our present needs, and we count on God's sovereignty for the future. We are not in the hands of blind fate. We are in the hands of God, whose purposes are very clearly set forth, and whose goals fit perfectly into his plan. Our all-wise, all-knowing God is in charge. He has all those answers. He's the originator and the enforcer and the provider. To him be the glory forever and ever. John Oxum wrote this poem centuries ago. It says, he writes in characters too grand for our short sight to understand. We catch but broken strokes and try to fathom all the mystery of withered hopes, of death, of life, the endless war, the useless strife. But there, with larger, clearer sight, we shall see this. His way was right. His way was right. God alone is deserving of our perfect trust. Thank you for joining me for this lesson today. I hope that these words have touched you like they touched me this week. It's not always a comfort in the middle of our trials to know that we're taken care of, but there's lots of ways to discover God's love in amidst your prayers. Let him know how you feel and what you're going through. Let him know that you want to entrust your life to him. Try to let go a little. I hope you guys have a very blessed weekend. May it be so.